Hey, what's up, guys? Mike Patrick. In this video, I want to talk about the internet age and how they talk about how with the younger generations, we're not as, and even the older generations, how we're not as personal because we have the internet. I guess you can say they blamed it on the internet, or at least you have some arguments that would propose that the internet and the phones and the times that we living in and the things that we have access to, you have some people that will argue that it plays a major role in the way that we communicate now. I say the way that we communicate now because I don't want to look at it as a bad thing anymore. Like most people, starting off, when you hear enough people say something, you feel like you have to agree with it because enough people are saying it. But after thinking about it, I don't agree with it. So I was part of the conspiracy of believing like, these devices, these phones, these tablets, these this, these that, you know what I mean? They taken away from our ability to be who we really are and to communicate the way that we're supposed to communicate. But I think that things evolve, okay? I think this whole phone thing or the whole device thing, whether it's a phone, a tablet, or whatever, a laptop, whatever other device they come out with. I think they're coming out with smaller devices now. So the point is, guys, I think that it evolves us, okay? It helps us use our brain more, and we become more of a mind species, okay? And because I don't want to use the word telepathic, because I don't want to make this video seem fictional or what's the word they use? Spooky. I heard people use the word spooky. I heard people use the word pseudo. You know what I mean? So I don't want to make this that type of video. But so I ain't want to use the word telepathy. But if you really think about what's going on, if you analyze, really analyze, you know what I mean, how people communicate. And if you realize a lot of you guys are becoming more mindful and more telepathic when it comes to dealing with each other because of your phone. Like, you know how we say you can read the energy through somebody's text message? How you can and sometimes we could be wrong, and I be having to check myself on this. Like, the way that you reading this message, is it coming from you as far as the tone you reading it with, or is it coming from the sender? You see what I mean? Like, are you interpreting the energy of this message, right? This message is just words on a screen, but are you reading it with the right energy? So stuff like that, we starting to become more aware of stuff like that. You know what I mean? And and so we don't have to talk as much. You know what I mean? I think we always been like this. We just haven't been as aware. We're becoming more aware of things we are capable of now, more so than we're becoming capable of it. And then as time goes on and we become more aware of certain things, then we develop it more because we're more conscious, we're more aware of the existence of it. But I think we've been capable of it though. And the lifestyles that we live just didn't develop those capabilities. But I think that the way that we live now, we develop those capabilities more easily. Having the phones and having the texts and not hear people's voices and things like that as much, it makes us fill that void with our imagination and our mind as far as, how did this person mean what they say? Because I can't hear them say it. I can't hear them express it. It's just words on the screen. How do they mean that? It makes you a more effective communicator communicator when it comes to deciphering what somebody might have meant based off of their past communication with you. So if the tone of your text conversation, if the tone of your thread is a certain tone, then you know that the next message, however you read those words, you know how to match it up with that tone. It's just all kinds of little small stuff that the way that we live and the way that we communicate, how it trains us in ways that we're not really, we don't really talk about it or think about it as much. Hence channels like mine that's talking about something like this. You know what I mean? That's an intellectual channel where it might seem like I'm just flapping my gums, but if you got time and an interest to want to listen to me, then you always know that anything I'm saying, you're going to come away feeling a little smarter, or at least feeling like you indulged and you don't feel like you waste your time listening to anything I had to say. You know what I mean? And especially in comparison to anything else you could be listening to. As far as communication goes, I think it helps. I think it helps some people become more, I think the internet and social media helps people become more, some people become more social than they normally are. I guess that could be a good thing or a bad thing, depending on how you use it. But yeah, it definitely helps people become more social. I think it helps people learn algorithms, especially if you're on social media a lot. It helps you learn algorithms and going into a space of in a world of artificial intelligence, and when algorithms is everything, where AI is everything, programming is everything, like the Matrix, like a computer, like a digital type of world is upon us. You know what I mean? Then it helps prepare those who are going to be living in that type of world more for that type of world. So whether you say what came first, the chicken or the egg, and whether you agree with it or not, that's one thing. So whether you believe that we should be going towards more of a technological age, and whether you think that we should, good, because I agree that we should keep on progressing and moving forward. But if you think we shouldn't, and you think that this is not something that's inevitable, it doesn't have to happen, and it shouldn't happen, you don't want it to happen, I can't tell you what to think. You know what I mean? And then whether you think that this is just happening naturally, and it's going to happen anyway, and it's happening whether we like it or not, you know what I mean? And we can't stop it, that's a whole nother thing. But I think it helps with communication. I think it helps us become more singular. You heard me, if you follow my videos enough. I know when I say that, guys, like I always approach my channel like it's a larger channel or a big channel or is already there. And because it is, believe it or not, it is some people who may catch almost every video. You know what I mean? So it might not be hundreds of thousands of people, but it might be a nice number, what I consider, because I look at numbers from a realistic standpoint. I don't look at it from a social media standpoint. I look at it as like, if I got 20 people that genuinely listen to my videos, and that's 20 people that I'm responsible to get content, who might look at me, who like me, who love me, who want to hear what I got to say, who want to participate in listening, to what I got to say, and value my opinions and my point of views, and just like looking at the videos and listening to the videos. If it's just 20 people, that's 20 people. Like, you can pack my house out with 20 people right now. If I had 20 people, that was like that, then that's 20 people. I'm responsible for making sure, that I give them worthwhile content as far as something worth listening to. You know what I mean? Because some people are intellectuals and they want to just hear a good conversation. They could, they might be tired of listening to this straight up entertainment about people arguing or bickering or disagreements or somebody's troubles, or they might get tired of looking at the news and their troubles, and sometimes they might be tired of looking at sports, whatever. And some people might just need to hear some what they consider some good content, some good logic, some good reason on topics that's not talked about as much. But as far as the get back on topic, singularity in one mind, and like how it just makes us smarter. It makes things easier. I don't think we're getting dumber. I don't think we're getting lazier. I just think we're getting smarter. As they say, work smarter, not harder. So we are learning things, and AI and technology is taking us places where we can work smarter and not harder. And I think that we are coming to singularity. We come into a space where you're able to accomplish more with less, or seemingly with less, because things will be sped up and move faster. You can accomplish more in one setting, or one sitting, so to speak. So, in other words, as an example, you might be able to get multiple things done with one, and you can see this now. You can see this happens now, but you can get multiple things done with one task. You know what I mean? Or as they say, kill two birds with one stone. Okay? So, I'm all for that. Okay? And I think that's good. So this is a good video for the archives, speaking on like singularity, communication, where it's going, technology, kind of speaking on technology, communication, how we communicate, where it's going, some of the criticisms, you know what I mean, that people would say regarding to how we communicate now. People don't talk as much. All we do is text, things like that. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing if you look at it the right way. And that's what this is all about. That's a lot of what I try to talk about, especially lately. Be trying to more so talk about how a lot of the stuff that are considered conspiracies, how we can turn a corner now. And now that you got a lot of information, instead of trying to look at it as a negative thing all the time and put it in negative means or in a negative manner, rather to say, start looking at things in a positive manner. And if these things are on the table, and if these things are remotely true, what you're saying, but maybe the way you saying it, or the intention, or the way it's going to play out might not be correct, then you can start looking at things in a more positive way and making the best of it, as opposed to trying to look at the worst case scenario or a negative outcome. All right, guys. Hopefully this was a good video. Peace.